Hello and welcome to this story special segment, Lead Story. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister YS Jagan Reddy meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Delhi today has once again triggered speculation that the YSR Congress party may be joining the BJP-led NDA alliance. This comes just 2 weeks after Mr. Reddy's meeting with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah on September 23rd and 24th. The state's opposition party N. Chandrababu Naidu Telugu Desam Party has alleged that Mr. Reddy wants to strike a deal with the centre for going easy on the CBI cases against him. There is also speculation that the BJP would want more partners in the NDA after the exit of the Shiv Sena and the Shiromani Akali Dal, and that in lieu of the members he would add to the NDA in the Rajya Sabha, his party would be offered berths for a cabinet minister and a union minister. Now, what this would do is also to keep in check actor politician Pawan Kalyan, who joined hands with the BJP earlier this year. It would also put an end to alleged efforts of Mr. Naidu to once again be counted among friends by the BJP and perhaps pave way for the re-entry of his party into the NDA. Jagan Reddy's YSR Congresss Party or YSRCP has denied any plans of joining the NDA. The senior Congress leader says that having had a friendly centre may be favourable at a time when the state, that is Andhra Pradesh, is going through its worst economic challenges amid the coronavirus pandemic. They, however, also warn that joining the NDA without getting a special category status for Andhra Pradesh, which was a precondition spelled out by him, that is Jagan Reddy, before the 2019 elections, would be seen as a backtracking on a major promise the YSR Congress made to the people of Andhra Pradesh. Of course, there is also a school of thought that it may be a political more prudent for both the BJP and Mr. Reddy's party to operate as separate entities that appear to keep each other in check. Just last week, the Shiromani Akali Dal, NDA's oldest ally, junked the alliance over its opposition to the controversial farm bills. Last year, it was the Shiv Sena who jumped ship over the issue of chief ministership in Maharashtra. Now, this is the second visit of the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister to Delhi in the last 2 weeks. 22, Jagan had a 2-day visit to Delhi and met Union Minister Amit Shah, supposedly to have a preliminary discussions on the YSRCP joining NDA, besides issues pertaining to the state. However, Jagan Mohan Reddy could not get the appointment of the Prime Minister then. In fact, VDP Associates, a data analytics firm involved in election surveys, tweeted on Monday that the BJP has reportedly offered 2 cabinet berths and 1 Minister of State independent charge to the YSRCP. Jagan was asked to rush to Delhi for exclusive talks with the PM. So that was a tweet by a data analytics firm which is into politics, and it essentially talks of the fact that 2 cabinet ministers and 1 Minister of State independent charge was offered to the YSRCP in lieu of it joining the NDA. This is in the realm of speculation. Jagan Mohan Reddy's party, in the last time when he was in Delhi, had refused to say anything on the sort of alliance which they want with NDA. They had rubbished the talk of the alliance, and this particular visit, which comes within the 15 days, has allowed the media to speculate that this was actually the part 2 of the talks which began actually 15 days back. Now, the YSRCP leader has quoted above said that PM Modi might offer 1 cabinet and 1 Minister of State post to the party in the government. Now, why is the YSRCP so important for the NDA? Let's take a look at the seat tallies. So now we are joined on the phone line by the YSR Congresss MLA from Dendaluru, Mr. Abbaya Chaudhary Kothari. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much for joining our show. My first question to you would be, what was the agenda of the YSR Congress party when your party chief had visited Delhi last time, and how is that agenda different from what happened today when your party chief met Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Thank you. I mean, I think our concern is I think our main thing is the welfare of the state. There are a lot of speculations going and all, but I think our perspective is that we had the AP Reorganization Act, and then we want to fulfill the promises. And most of the meetings were about the approval of the project and getting the pending dues, because we got a pending revenue grant of 10,000 crore and 3,250 crore on Polavaram.
Yes.
So mainly it's more about development is where I think it's all focused on. And I know there is a lot of speculation going on.
Absolutely.
But all we are saying is we are happy to tie up with anybody, and that was said by our Chief Minister in the past. Whoever grants us a special status, whoever grants us AP, whoever fulfills the promises on the AP Reorganization Act, and we are happy to tie up with anybody. So from our perspective, we work in the interest of the state, and ultimately it's our duty to serve the people and in the rightful manner for the people of Andhra Pradesh.
But just pardon me for requesting you once again to ask you this, that this visit comes within a fortnight. Now, we have seen instances of the chief ministers rushing to Delhi, but that's more of political emergency. What's the kind of emergency which actually allowed or probably forced your party chief to visit Delhi within like 15 days.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, right? When two legends meet, only development talk happen,
Yes.
right? There's a saying that when elephant walks, dogs bark, right? I think it looks like that with the likes of TDP and Chandrababu Naidu right now, even trying to politicize this. So there was a meeting with the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister of this country, and it's completely about the development of the state. And we are responsible. Our duty is to serve the people of Andhra Pradesh. And we are trying to put the development train on track in Andhra Pradesh. It's been derailed by Mr. Chandrababu Naidu in the past, and because of his personal gains and personal motives, whatever he has done,
Yes.
people have taught him a lesson already. And definitely, I think what happened in Delhi, I think every Andhra today, every Telugu person across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, both are really proud today, because we got two mature CMs in both the Telugu states. There is no difference. Both the states are like one family. We are brothers.
Yes.
And both are working for the interest of Telugu people and the development of the state.
Yeah, but also the Telugu Desam party, which is Beta Noor, has said that, and which looks like a selling point also on the behalf of the TDP. They are probably saying that since the CVR cases are hanging like a millstone around the neck for the last at least decade or so around your party chief's head, that's one of the reasons why the YSRCP is constantly trying to find ways to tie the friendship band around the Bharatiya Janata Party. How much of the TDP's allegation do you think holds water?
See, the TDP is a sinking ship in Andhra Pradesh, and Chandrababu Naidu is the only person in the entire country probably that, when everybody knows what happens when he got the court cases, he is the only person that goes in and gets these things. Everybody in this country, and especially from Andhra Pradesh, whatever have been kept on our honorable CM in the past are politically motivated, and only to destroy YSR family image. And it turned out to be whoever tried to destroy YSR family image, be it Sonia Gandhi or be it Chandrababu Naidu, the people of Andhra Pradesh, Telugu people have taught them a lesson. So the Congress is wiped out of the state. Telugu Desam is already almost wiped out of the state. So our party or our leader we are very, very confident that he is going to come out completely clean on all these cases. We are facing, and we have full trust on our judicial system. We are not like Chandrababu Naidu, who is trying to manage the systems. I don't understand when the Prime Minister of this country and the Chief Minister of a state has had a meeting, and they're talking about development. Are we giving an indication, and is Chandrababu Naidu trying to blame the judicial system of this country? I'm questioning Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and TDP right now. Are you saying that the Prime Minister and the CM of this country can manage CBI, can manage the judicial system? Absolutely not.
No, but definitely we can understand that the judicial process is supreme and everyone has to abide by that continuous process. Now, your party chief was in Delhi, he met the Prime Minister, and do you think there has been any substantial exchanges possible with the Prime Minister? Are there any assurance given to your party chief and to the Chief Minister on the various issues facing Andhra Pradesh, especially the huge budget deficit, is also the funding of the various pending projects across Andhra Pradesh? Any concrete suggestions or any concrete assurance have been given by the Prime Minister or his colleagues to your party chief and the Chief Minister in Delhi today?
Absolutely, it's a very, very productive meeting that we had with the Prime Minister of this country, or with the Union Jal Shakti Minister after that. And even the Union Jal Shakti Minister had a press conference after that, and he said he's going to visit Polavaram end of this month, and he is going to make sure Polavaram is going to be fast-tracked and it will be delivered, and he's going to make sure. So when a Union Minister has spoken and said very clearly, and coming back to the meeting with Prime Minister, and I think there was a clear call that there's a 10,000 crore revenue grant that's been pending right now, and Prime Minister, we believe strongly that Prime Minister is looking at Mr. Jagan sir to make sure the development of Andhra put back on the track. And we are very confident that the 10,000 crore revenue grant will be sanctioned to us. The High Court in Kurnool will be granted to us. Believe me, we have to keep remembering that YSR Congress Party is the 4th largest national party right now.
Yes.
With 22 MPs and 6 Rajya Sabha MPs. And
Yes.
with the amount of MPs that we hold,
Yes.
we are very strongly believe that we can meet our demands and the center can meet our demands. Absolutely, it's one of the most productive meetings that all the Telugu people today are very proud of having this productive meeting today. Absolutely, the state is going on a right track with the best chief minister that is there. Even the schemes that been announced by our chief minister is applauded. I mean, what we are hearing internally as well, the schemes of Sachivalayam, introducing a Grama Sachivalayam, it's been appreciated by Modi today.
Yes. That's
saying that this is a wonderful idea and we want to expand it across the country.
Yes.
And also the Disha Act that we introduced, he said absolutely that's a wonderful act and we all work for the welfare of the women. So there are a lot of discussion that happened between our Prime Minister and our Chief Minister today. And I think this is one of the most productive meetings that we had in this country, for at least for the Telugu state.
So the matrix which is being adopted, in fact, the grants which you were talking of, which AP has to receive and wants to receive, that is based on a formula, and the center of course has to cater to every state based on the formula. There has been long time this particular demand by AP, and which the center feels is slightly unjustified, because then it will spoil the kind of delicate balance which is achieved in terms of the center's grant towards various states. Do you think special category status is possible at least in the next 3 years, or do you think there are other avenues open for the center to aid the finances of Andhra Pradesh in the coming months and coming years?
Absolutely. I think welfare of state is our primary and development of state is our primary business here. So special status, our one and only demand, and we never changed stance like TDP in the past, or Mr. like Chandrababu Naidu, who turns his head on a single day. We are not like him. We are demanding special status right from our party, and only one word comes from our chief minister all the time. And we are very confident that we can get the special status, and along with the special status, Andhra Pradesh will be looked after. We have a friendly relationship with BJP right now, and absolutely the grants that will be going to be coming to Andhra Pradesh will help for the better development of the state.
But in terms of, we have seen this kind of friendship and kind of friendliness between the Prime Minister and your party chief over the last 2 years or more. But has anything concrete come the way of Andhra Pradesh, despite such obvious cordiality between the two leaders? What has come to the way of Andhra Pradesh despite such friendly talks, as you say, between the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister?
Absolutely. I mean, because the Polavaram that we have today, the more than 2,500 crore has been released by center, and there is a lot more need to come. But it's been taken up as a national project. They want to fast track it, and it's a dream of every Telugu person that the Polavaram should be completed, and center is fully supporting us on that. And there are various other things where even the GST wise, or even when they provided us all the other benefits, all the other budgets that they've allocated to us is pretty good as of now, but we're trying to get more so that our state will be in a better track, because the state today has been just because of the selfishness of Chandrababu Naidu, just because he's caught red-handed on the bribes in Hyderabad from Telangana, he ran into Andhra Pradesh, and the people of Andhra Pradesh, even though we have a capital that we can share, we could not. He didn't stay there because of his personal and party interest.
Yes.
But our interest is the welfare of the state. So Chandrababu Naidu really acted like a cheater there. I mean, and because of his personal thing, Andhra Pradesh has already lost plenty of things. Now we are trying to maintain friendly relationships. We maintain friendly relationship with anybody who can support for the development of our state. But absolutely, we are case by case. We are supporting BJP in the center. And BJP is also supporting us at the state level for the development.
Right. Another important question, sir, is the fact that We have seen several programs being launched by your government, by the state government of Andhra Pradesh over the last several months. And of course, it's the right of every government to gather public opinion and to please public opinion and to cater to every segment of the population. But do you think there has been a sort of profligacy on the part of YSR government, in the sense that there have been so many schemes launched and so many concessions and so many exemptions being given to various sections, and this is happening despite the dire financial situation of Andhra Pradesh? How much of that kind of launching of schemes nearly every month is justified, considering the precarious financial situation of Andhra Pradesh?
A really good question. I think what we are seeing today in Andhra Pradesh is a social reformist. We are trying to reform from the ground here. And so our primary motive right now is to make sure every school in Andhra Pradesh has an English medium, and every school in Andhra Pradesh is equivalent to a private school. So 15,000 schools have been taken up, and they are being developed similar to Delhi model. We are developing close to 15,000 schools, and we're making them equivalent or better than the private schools that are in this country. And also we're also in the same similar Nadu Nedu scheme. We're also trying to uplift the hospitals. So we are focusing on education. We're focusing on healthcare. We're focusing that every poor person in the state gets a land so that he can build his own house. It's a dream for any person in their life that they want to build their own house. So we are trying to support the poor. I think when you do a social reformer, when you do reforms, and when you make sure when you give the benefits to the poor and poor that required, when they go into that is the real development. So I mean, absolutely there should be both. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a balance between development and the social reforms. And these are reforms that we announced before the election. We came with a single paper called Navaratnalu, where we said this is our Bible, this is our Bhagavad Gita, this is our Quran. And we said that, and we're trying to deliver this. And we're trying to deliver on our promise today. And so is whoever is trying to say that we're trying to do too much, I'm questioning them. Are you saying that the poor people should not have a house?
Absolutely,
are we saying that the poor people should not have a good school to go to? Are we saying that the poor people should not get a health care? Absolutely not. That is the real development. The real development is focusing on farming, focusing on uplifting the poor. And that's exactly what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. And we're also introduced a called Disha Act, wherein any person, and we don't require to see the scenes that are currently happening in the country. And what the big talking point right now, we are trying to protect protect the women in the state. With the Disha Act, if anybody misbehaves, 21 days he's going to be put behind the bars. So we are trying to create a reforms. We are trying to change the society, and we are trying to uplift the poor and poor. And absolutely, and we are giving 15,000 rupees for a woman, for the mother, to send their children to school, so that the children doesn't go to school in an empty belly. So I think these are great reforms, and it should be going across the country. I'm very happy that we're working under a great leader and a great leader who is visionary and who is a social reformist of this reformist and reforming Andhra Pradesh right now. As I said earlier, we're putting Andhra Pradesh back on the track. It's been derailed by Mr. Chandrababu Naidu.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary Kothari, for being on CVR English at this hour at such a short notice. Thank you very much for the entire thing. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. Well, Jagan Mohan Reddy has a substantial presence in the Lok Sabha and also in the Rajya Sabha, and the NDA and the BJP certainly needs a new set of friends after the departure of the Shiv Sena and the Shiromani Akali Dal. With this, we come to the end of this special lead story segment. Thank you for being and watching this special lead story on Jagan Reddy and the speculation that he may be joining the NDA. Thank you. While the AP Chief Minister Jagan Reddy attended the meeting from Delhi in a similar fashion. In the meeting chaired by Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, the agenda points set out by the Jal Shakti Ministry include the jurisdiction of the Karnataka and Krishna River Management Board, the Godavari River Management Board, and submission of the detailed project reports of the 2 new projects for river management boards, and establishing a mechanism for determination of share of Krishna and Godavari waters between both the states, and finally the shifting of the KRMB headquarters to Andhra Pradesh. The Yogi Adityanath-led Uttar Pradesh government today filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court requesting the top court to direct a CBI probe in the Hathras case. Explaining the details of its investigation so far, the UP government has alleged that vested interests were attempting to ascribe a motive to derail a fair probe in the case. This comes a day after the UP police registered 6 cases and 13 FIRs were lodged in several complaints on false claims and rumors being spread around the victim's village to allegedly spoil what the UP government called social harmony, and for instigating the victim's family, and for provocative posts surmounting to criminal conspiracy in the larger Hathras probe. So that is the kind of affidavit which the UP government has filed today in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has given time till October 2 for the UP government to respond. The Supreme Court has also directed the UP government to apprise it by Thursday on the steps taken to protect the witness in the Hathras case. The apex court's observation came while hearing a PIL during which the Uttar Pradesh government expressed willingness to refer the investigation to the CBI, as it said fake narratives were being spread about the case with political motives, and that's the reason why the UP government has suggested that the CBI take over the case, and it has filed this affidavit in the Supreme Court to ask for a CBI probe. If you remember clearly, this was also the kind of demand made by the family members of the accused who were arrested by the Uttar Pradesh police in this particular case. Of course, on the other hand, several supporters of the Dalit girl who have demanded that no less than a Supreme Court judge be organized to organize a probe, and the probe be time bound. So that's the kind of conflict we are having now. Supreme Court of course has to decide whether it will want a CBI probe or it wants a retired Supreme Court judge to form an probe which is time bound and which will give result within a certain period of time. So intense, very interesting tussle happening there in the Supreme Court today with regard to the Hathras gang rape case, I would rather say the Hathras alleged gang rape case. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi held a press conference in Patiala where he took a jibe at Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the alleged rape case that happened in UP's Hathras. Rahul Gandhi said, "It's a duty to safeguard public. I wanted the victim's family to know that they are not alone. We are there for them." The entire family was targeted by the Uttar Pradesh administration, but our Prime Minister didn't say a word on this. So that was Rahul Gandhi speaking in Patiala. Rahul Gandhi, of course, has been active in Punjab and Haryana over the issue of farmers' agitation. The farm bills have